What's up, everybody? It's Tortora
and Alford.
Standing outside the Dome in Syracuse's rivalry game with Pitt. It was the 81st chapter of this rivalry, and Pitt came in with a 44-33-3 record against Syracuse. Now it's 45-33-3 as Pitt takes this one. And Isaac, we got to give it to him because he had the game. He said 31-13. The game ended 30-13. So you get the first word.
Yeah, that's good, like horseshoes and hand grenades. Close enough.
Yeah.
Syracuse. It was a good performance by the defense, like we said. They gave the offense numerous chances. Fantastic onside kick. That's the second one we've seen this year by the special teams.
Jay No kicked it right at the guy, and as soon as it touches their team, it's live.
There you go. What better strategy?
I think more kickers should do that. Kick it right at your leg.
You know. So you give them a chance, the offense chance to execute. Unfortunately, the offense is still in work in progress, struggle a little bit. Quarterbacks came in. You guys got what you wanted. A little teaser, not much.
Y'all wanted Luke Carney.
Luke came in and had a couple of series here or there.
I did make the announcement before it happened, and I cannot tell you where my sources came from, but they were right.
But I think they battled the score with that, like Fran mentioned in the press conference, the punt return right before halftime was like the backbreaker really to the game. It was a 10-7 contest at that time, and then going in 17-7 with Pitt getting the ball first kind of changed the momentum of the game.
Yeah, and Fran said, he said, put it on me. He blamed himself. He also asked the fans to not put it on Ricky or anybody else. If you got a problem, he says, bring it to him. So not to them. I did like, and I told you this, Ricky Collins Jr. Answering my question in the post-game press conference and just in general. I'm seeing a little more of a leadership coming from him, a little more fire coming from him, which I like to see. Being around him for the time that I have from the spring into now, and so it's good to see that. I think there's a little flicker in him that wasn't there before. And with Luke Carney and him, listen, they're playing off each other and they're trying to figure things out. Fran was not saying definitely who's going to play at Georgia Tech. He said Ricky is the guy right now, but he's going to see how things go. He's going to do what's best for the S. And he's always said that. And, you got to ask the question about what do you say to Ricky? And he said, I tell him I love him, and the people that have opinions about him, they don't know you. And I think that's good advice for anybody. The people that know you. And if they love you, keep them close. And everybody else, well, like my dad says, everybody's got an opinion, like everybody's got a butthole, and sometimes people live out that butthole. So I know people are frustrated, but I want to remind a bunch of so-called fans that you begged for Ricky. And now you got him, and now you're yelling at him. So.
Right. It was a great, like you said, great message. Remember, these kids are somebody's sons, and, that comes to this university, and Fran's going to...
20 years old.
Right. Fran's going to be their father figure, their friend, whatever it need, their mentor, whatever they need to be, their coach to help them in this process of their life. He's got all of these guys on this team, as he's talked about it. There's a lot of young guys on the charts that are not ready, but they got a lot of talent. And something I keep saying a lot is about experience, A
lot of true freshmen playing. Antoine Delorier, Demetrius Samuel Jr., Chris Peel. They're putting guys out there. And Isaac's trying to block Pitt. Trying to block the bus. Bus trying to jump in on the thing. They're trying to photobomb.
Exactly.
Narduzzi was like, drive by now. So I see you, Doozer. I see you. But, listen, the defense had a hell of a game, arguably one of their best games of the season. And Kevin Jobity Jr., he said, getting the... they asked him about his individual success of having a couple sacks. He said, I'd rather have no sacks and win.
Right.
And Devin Grant, same thing, not allowing a passing touchdown. He's like, I'd rather win. So, says a lot about this team. And I will say this. Ricky said, nobody wants us to win, or nobody believes in us except for us in this building right now. And I will say this about Kevin Jobity Jr., Devin Grant, as well as Ricky Collins Jr. and Luke Carney, that were all on the dais together after the game. They believe in each other. You can tell it. You can feel it. They got 5 games left, and whoever's giving up on them, they're not giving up on themselves. So if there's anything I can take from tonight, the defense played a hell of a game. They gave a lot of opportunities. And, you know, Luke did some good things, had some good moments. Ricky had some good moments. And as Fran said, they're trying to put it together with guys that weren't as ready as Steve was, which is why he went and got Steve, which is something that I talked about.
Yeah, exactly.
And Steve was obviously the most prepared. And people forget this is a backup quarterback. And even in the NFL, look at the Bengals. They had to go and get Joe Flacco because Jake Browning wasn't cutting it. So, you know, I mean, the reality is it is really hard to win when you go to your backup quarterback. And these guys are looking to learn. And I think more than anything else is remembering that they're people, they're human beings. They fought in this game. This game was still a game, and neither quarterback played well in the first half. The numbers were awful. They were 10. You looked at Ricky Collins Jr. was 10 for 16 for 60 yards, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown. And Mason Heinschel was 8 for 14 for 65 yards and 1 interception, no touchdowns.
Right.
So, I mean, they were not good offensively. Desmond Reed didn't have a fantastic day. And, I mean, honestly, when you look back on this team and you look at Pittsburgh and their 2 tight ends that are successful and having 3 running backs that can all run the ball well and everybody who's gotten to the end zone, the reality of it all is Syracuse's defense came out and they did a lot of good things in this game, and they made it a game and they kept it a game. It's just that the offense was MIA, and like Fran said, we're working on it, and we're trying to simplify it and do what we can to win.
That's I can't even argue with it. I mean, you know, it's just going to take a little bit of time. You know, hopefully, like we say, fans can be frustrated. You get a right to do that, but you know, just stick with the team. That's all they ask. You know, we can grow up with them and be proud when they do make us proud and celebrate the victories.
Yeah. I will say this, and I don't care about any of the haters on the internet because I just want to spoiler alert this for you. I don't read your messages. So if you wear Syracuse Orange, you can support the team or else stop buying the clothes. So, you know who your team is, support your team, be there for your team. Kansas City Chiefs got renovations to their stadium when they were 2-14 before Pat Mahomes. So everything good takes time. This team's working, and if I saw anything tonight, I saw a team that did not give up. And you know, Fran talked about that. He said, you know, my job is to coach this team and lead this team. And he said, did you see this team give up? And they didn't. So credit to Fran and the staff for that. Credit to the student athletes. Credit to their families who came out and supported them. And shout out for Luke Carney and Ricky Collins Jr. working well together. And we'll see where they go from here with 5 games to go. You know that Tortora and Alford will be covering it. And I can just appreciate the fight that Syracuse had in this matchup. This didn't feel like a loss like some of the other ones have in the past.
Definitely not. You could tell it was, like you said, it was fighting this team.
So with that being said, I'm Tortora and
Alford.
And we're outside the dome. We'll see you soon. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. And golden rule, in case you didn't learn it from Jesus, treat people the way you want to be treated. We'll talk with you soon.